I just want to go through the second half of the sheet. So if I look at my point, 522, which means I'm going to go to the right 5 and up 22. That's pretty high. And it's asking for a horizontal line. So remember, horizontal looks this way here. So I want a line going this direction. And if we look at just graphing those other points just to see where they're at, that will help us out. So 5, 2 is going to go over 5, up 2. That's definitely not on my line. 0, 22 would be over 0, up 22. That one is on my line. I just like to double check all my pieces here. 22, 5 is going to be on my x-axis over to 22, up to 5. Definitely not on my line. And 0, 5 over 0, up 5 is also not on my line. So the only one would be that letter B. It says, Fred drew the graph below for the equation y equals negative 2x plus 1. What error did he make? There are actually 2 errors in here. If I look at my slope, the first thing I notice when I'm writing this up, my slope is negative. And on Fred's graph, he's got a positive slope for the graph, which I can easily tell because if I was reading a line in our text, it's going up. And my y-intercept is 1, and on this graph, the y-intercept is negative 2. So we made 2 errors. The y-intercept is off, should be up here. And I'm just going to label it as y-intercept, a shorter version of it. And my slope should be negative. On this one, which equation has the same y-intercept as y equals 4x plus 3, the first thing I need to do is make sure that they're all y equals equations. So this is a y minus 3. I want y by itself, and to change that, I'm going to just do add 3, just like I'm solving in equations. This one's already written in the correct form, so I don't have to do anything with it. This one here, I need to switch a few things around because I have a minus y. So I'm going to add y to both sides. And this one gets a little tricky, but just so you know, we're just introducing a little piece here. We'll do more with this later. So I have 3 equals 4x plus y, but I want y by itself. So I'm going to switch this around. These two don't add together. These are not like terms. So I'm just going to end up with 3 minus 4x equals y. And the last one's in the correct format that I want. So looking at my equation here, I need a negative 3. I can easily see that letter A does not have a negative 3 when I rewrite it. Part B definitely does not have a negative 3. Part C, if I'm looking over in here, this is still a positive 3. That negative 4 after it does not affect it, but here we have a negative 3. So it would be part D, they would have the same y-intercept. On this one, we're looking at the slope. And remember, when we're looking at these are really just a whole bunch of points. So I picked my favorite 2. Does not matter which 2 that you take. I'm just going to take the bottom ones, x1 and y1, x2 and y2. And if I put that into my slope formula, negative 6 minus negative 2 over 3 minus 1 becomes a negative 3 over 2. That's my slope. If I would have picked 2 other points, x1, y1, x2, y2, 6 minus 10 over negative 3 minus negative 5. I can see where I made a mistake up above. We will switch that. Negative 4, and this is ends up being a 2, which would be negative 2. Up above, hopefully you noticed, but I messed up. It happens once in a while. Negative 6 plus 2 is really a negative 4, which would be a negative 2. Those two are the same slope. And that's what should happen. It's also a great way to check your answer is to do more than one. Again, I could pick any 2 points. If you have questions, Google Meets